This is video number 14 in the rock excavation exercise. We're on step number 93. It says the template previously used for this quarter does not contain any benching options. And now that we have added rock surface, we will need to add benching to our template. So we're going to open up the job template library. And to do so, we'll need to go to our corridor modeling tools and then open up the create template tool. It automatically defaults to the T drive if you haven't opened up the template. So what we're going to do is do a file, open. We're going to navigate out to our district CAD, design, CAD user, col, job number, data, and we're looking for our ITL. Once we have it, we'll open it up. And step number 4, or 94, says navigate to the folder and make a copy of the 4-lane asphalt with type C barrier and paste it into the same folder. So we're in our job folder. Here's our, I can see it's right here, the 4-lane asphalt. So we're going to right click and copy it. And then we're going to go to the folder, right click and paste. So now we have one with a 1 behind it. It says in step number 95 to go ahead and rename the 4-lane, and we'll add, instead of a 1 behind it, we'll go ahead and add benching behind it. So I can right click and do a rename. It says 1, we'll give it a space and add the word benching. Hit the enter key. Now we want to, I can look at the current edit template that we have out here, and the name of it is not the one with the benching. We want to edit that one. So let's go ahead and we'll double click on the benching one and make it the active template so that we can modify it. And the reason we're copying it is we want to leave that alone, that first template. So we're just making a copy and doing some adjustments. So that was step number 95. Step number 96 is modify the template by adding the benching component to the 4-lane asphalt type C barrier benching template. And we'll go ahead and mirror the component and place it on the right guardrail widening B point. It has a note. It says in the component properties, benching count defines how many times the benching will occur before it stops and runs with the end conditions. Using a value of 0 will run the benching with an endless count. So if we put a count of 1 or 2 or 3, if it only benches that amount, then after that it's going to go to an end condition and not give us what we want. We want it to bench wherever there's rock, whether it be 2 occurrences or if it goes to 10. Okay, so benching's over here on the left in our folder. We're just simply going to left click on it. Again, if you double click, it makes it active, meaning we can edit this. We don't want to do that. We want to be editing the benching component or benching template. So now we'll take that component and you're just going to simply left click to drag it out. While you're holding the mouse button down, you're going to right click and we're going to do a mirror. Now I'm wanting to tie it to this point on the end, and I can't really tell where it's at because the point names are on. So I'm going to turn off the display point names and then zoom into where I need to go with this. And we're going to go to the point that was called right guardrail widening B, and you can see it. It's this point. So that's where I'm going to drop it off. Also drop the left side off, so we're good there. Step number 96 says, or 97, add the end condition ditch back slope 1 to the end of the benching and change the slope constraint to minus 50% for the left side and a positive 50% for the right side. So we want to add an end condition to the end of our benching. Okay. So I'm going to go to the end condition folder. I'm going to open it up. I want to go to the ditches, and I'm looking for the ditch back slope 1. Ditch back slope 1. It really doesn't matter because it's a 4-to-1. We're going to change it to 2-to-1. We don't have a 2-to-1 option, so we're just going to modify it anyway. So again, we'll left click, we'll drag it out, go to the proper side, and I'm going to keep it mirrored. I want them on both sides, and I'm just going to stop and let it go when that point becomes white. So I've just merged those 2 points together. Now it says to edit the ink condition, so I'm going to double click on the point. I'll go ahead and turn on the point names, and the one I'm going to edit is ditch back slope T1, ditch back slope 1 T1. So I'm going to open it up, and instead of a 25%, I want to make this 50, and then I'll hit apply and close. Do the same on the other side. Change it from 25 to 50. Apply and close. Okay. Next thing we want to do in step number 98 is verify the benching target type is set to terrain. So the benching component itself, what we want to do is double click on it. So when you bring it up, you're going to get the component properties of the bench. We want the terrain. We want to set it to terrain, the target type, and that's where it's at, terrain model. And we're looking for the rock surface component, or the surface that we want out there. So we got that. And again, on the benching count, it's set to 0, just like the note said in the previous step. Should be all good, and we'll hit go ahead and close it. We didn't make any changes. And same with the right side. It's got terrain model, it's got the terrain, it's got a benching component, our benching count of 0, so we're good. So we'll close out of that. So that was step number 98. Step number 99 says test a template and make changes to the priority of the end conditions. So in step number 99, it wants the bench to be the highest, the ditch to be number 2, and the fill slope to be 3. So let's test it, and that test button's on the bottom right of your templates. It gives us a warning that it has end condition priority conflicts. We know that. We'll hit OK, and we'll go check our priorities. And we'll do the left side first. We'll edit it. We want the bench 1, we want the ditch 2, and our fill slope 3. So when we hit OK on this part, it fixes the left side. Let's fix the right side. Again, the benching will be 1, the ditch will be 2, and then 3 on the fill slope. We'll say OK. No end condition warnings now. We can close out of the dialog, and we'll pick our active terrain and hit draw, and you can see we're going to get our slopes and our ditch, so we're good there. Now if we go back and reset it and hit a rock surface and hit draw, we're gonna, well, once you get to where your rock's at, we get your rock surface set out there at a point, you can see now the template's going to go out and it's going to put our ditch in until it sees that rock surface, and then it'll put our rock benching in, and where there's no rock, it'll go on and put our fill slope in, our ditch back slope in. So it's working properly, and you can mess with that just by hitting draw and keep moving around and see how far that rock goes up. We're 2 foot above, so it's going to bench that much in here. So that seems to be working just fine on step number 99. Step 100, we'll go ahead and close out of the testing conditions, and then step number 100 says exit the template library and save changes. So we'll go ahead and close and say yes to our changes. And that concludes video number 14.